Hi, I'm Gary, and I want to show you how I use Cloudy. Today we're going to talk about the documentation that comes in the download. So here's our download folder. Docs are the second to top folder present. Open that folder and we find four PDF files. We find Hazy 1, 2, and 3. So these are three volumes talking about the documentation for Cloudy. And then the quick start guide is a much shorter document. It gives a kind of 100-mile view of what Cloudy is trying to do in the way to set up a Cloudy calculation. So let's look in the Quick Start Guide first. Uh, the idea here is to give a very quick overview and not go into details in the Quick Start Guide, but rather explain where in Hazy 1 you can read about different methods and techniques in more detail. So this section here is setting up two very simple models. One section is on a simple planetary nebula. It goes into the commands and talks about why they're used and how they're being used, and then cross-references a section in Hazy 1 that goes into a lot more details. There are many other sections, a discussion of the geometry, the composition, many other things, and meant to be a very quick discussion, a bird's eye view, and a quick synopsis. The appendix to the Quick Start Guide is on Jeremy Sanders' Views graphing software. So Cloudy and Views are very, very friendly with one another. Views, and they're meant to work together. And Views is what we use to make plots of Cloudy predictions. It's on the web, it's open source, highly recommended. Let's go on to the Hazy. So there's three volumes. Volume 1 is a complete description of all of the commands in Hazy. We worked very hard to keep Volume 1 completely up to date. It's meant to be completely accurate. Whenever changes to the commands are made, they're carried over here. There's different sections organized by chapters. If you're doing a photonization model, you have to figure out the radiation field striking your cloud. There's sections on that. Chemical composition, by default, if you don't tell Cloudy to do anything, it'll be solar with no dust. You can tell it, for instance, interstellar medium depletions and interstellar dust. Many different abundance sets are saved, and it's very, very simple to specify your own composition. Density's law is that the code will do a constant density calculation. If you don't say anything else, you can do constant pressure, you can do magnetostatic, you can do radiation hydrodynamics. So there's many different laws that can be used. A plasma calculation generates a huge amount of information, far too much for a human to really grasp. We use this save family of commands to extract the information in a human discernible way. So there's a large number of save commands grouped together by what it is they save. I may save emission lines across the model, the heating and cooling, microphysics. There's many different things that can be here. So this is something we're going to use a lot across the workshop. But we're also going to use the grid command. So the grid command provides a way you can specify Cloudy parameters, and then you can tell it to vary one or more parameters in a systematic way. Say vary the density over a density range. And the code on a multi-core computer will fork off many Cloudies, one per core, and will parallel process all these models you specified. And in the end, we'll bring them back together into a coherent data set. So it's a way to really speed up grids of models that run more than one model. Volume 2 of Hazy has two chapters of interest. The first is a complete description of the output from the code. So when you set up a Cloudy, you create an input deck that tells Cloudy what to do, specifies the model. Cloudy cogitates and produces what we call the output or the main output. So this is a large file which is fully described in this first chapter of AZ2. The second chapter goes into observed quantities. So if you have all of the cloudy output and want to figure out an emission line equivalent width or the line luminosity or intensity is at the top of the Earth's atmosphere, this chapter will tell you how to get that information out of the cloudy predictions. Finally, chapter or section 3, book 3 of Hazy, is we don't really have the resources to keep this up to date. It's meant to be a description of the physics in the code. It's pretty complete for the code 15 or 20 years ago, but there just hasn't been the human resources to really keep this up to date. It's still here if you want to have a look at a lot of cool physics. It's there. So next time we're going to put all this together and build Cloudy and then run a very simple model, set things up for the rest of the workshop. So I'll see you then. Thank you.